Hey guys, Matt Dog here with another video. Thank you so much for getting me to 500 subscribers so quickly. It's absolutely ridiculous. As a thank you, I'm going to be doing a double feature. Right now, the Fusion Link Festival is going on. So we've got obviously our Eldlich deck where we're going to be doing just fusions and links in the extra deck. They banned Zombie World, they banned a bunch of texts that we like to use. They banned Horus, but we were able to make something work that I was pretty happy with. Additionally, this is going to be a double feature, so we're also going to be doing a Beetrooper video. So we'll be going over this crazy swarm the field weevil type of deck that I was able to cook up. So first we'll do 5 replays with Eldlich, um, taking over the world, coming back from the grave, kicking butt. Who are we up against first? Sprite. Okay. So after we do 5 replays of Eldlich, we'll do the deck profile, and then we're going to do 5 replays using Beetroopers along with the deck profile. So this is kind of a interesting idea I'm trying out. A little double feature. We'll see how it plans out. Great. So obviously we start off with the standard stuff. Cursed Eldland. Thank you very much. They hit us with Droll, but we actually don't care about that at all. We're gonna not get any good mills off of our reasoning. We only have like 6 monsters in our 60 card deck, so that's actually kind of crazy. But whatever. Pure Huaquero Golden Land Conquistador is going to be enough. So Evil Twins, they make a couple of Link 2s, and then they go up to a big Link 4. They pop that, but our Lord of Heavenly Prison was protecting the rest of our back row, so they didn't have a choice. They make the big Link 4. And right now I'm just kind of daring them to activate their effect. They don't, which is fine. It also has a graveyard effect, so we banish it before it can do anything, and that's it. Absolute GG's. You're done. Unfortunately, we couldn't summon the Lord of Heavenly Prison because the Elixir locks us out of summoning anything other than zombies, but pretty straightforward. It feels like going back to the old days versus old school Salamangreat deck. Yeah, Salads is another interesting deck. I'm not exactly sure what the choke point is. I just know that Gazelle is really important for their combos. So probably either stopping them before they get Gazelle or after they extend into whatever Gazelle does after that is probably the right way to do it. Yeah, we just kind of set 4 cards and pass. We'll try to deal with them next turn. The Paleozoic Marilla can send a rollback to copy our Torrential again. Okay. For now, we're just gonna kind of chill. We have both board wipe and negate monster effect with Solemn Strike, so we're kind of having no fear. They have to pop a face-up trap, which is why they pop Cursed Land. Still don't really care about what they're doing. Link 3, that's a good one to Solemn Strike, because what's nice is when you Solemn Strike it, you are negating the summon, so it's like you never Link summoned it, which means that it doesn't have its graveyard effect anymore. Banish their entire grave? Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, even in this much lower ceiling Fusion Link Festival, Fiend Comedian still loves killing decks that have a lot of graveyard, or, milling a bunch of our stuff. Ooh, heroes. Yeah, that's probably a pretty nice deck to play in this festival. Little tiny hero. Basically any deck that has a lower ceiling that doesn't have to deal with some of the higher ceiling decks is going to enjoy it. Okay, we get both of our draw 2 cards, which isn't great. I was running Snow in this version of the deck. I think I ended up cutting it for something else, but whatever. Okay, Sky Striker. Yeah, this format, you can do a whole bunch of fun stuff just because the ceiling is really low for everything. Okay, we get a draw 2. We get Diabellstar. The fact that Diabellstar is still allowed in this format is pretty crazy. Yeah, they banned the Adventure Engine, they banned Horus. Not sure why they let Diabellstar in. Multiple transaction rollbacks. We're going to get a draw 1. Karma Cannon. Okay. Let's see what we're going to hit. Not much. We don't get the Omni negate, but that's fine. Yeah, they kind of don't have anything right now. Come back, sure, why not? Yeah, so this isn't actually that great of a hand for me either, but we're gonna blow them up before they have a chance to like, you know, do anything or search out anything. Feather Duster. Unfortunately, a lot more people are running Feather Duster in this deck. I mean, in this format, but yeah, they just didn't have anything. We still have rollbacks in the grave. We have just a million resources. Goodbye. Yeah, I think seeing a lot of these like much shorter, like maybe not as okay, so Dinomorphia, okay. As you're seeing from some of the replays, this festival, it's hard to get like amazing replays because a lot of times people will just surrender super quickly when you know, resolve grass, for example, or, you know, really pop off. This was a pretty good replay though. Yeah, Dinomorphia, they set all their traps. They probably have at least one solemn judgment, but I am kind of aware of that. We set a grass, we have a thrust, so we can grab like a reasoning or something. First, let's see if they even have a solemn judgment. Yep, okay. But do they have a second solemn judgment? There we bait them into activating a monster effect by trying to go to main to battle phase. All of their Dinomorphia monsters have to activate in the main phase. So great, now we get to activate this, grab reasoning. So they did have a second solemn judgment. So that does make things a little harder. Here, for some reason, I forgot that we don't have SP Little Knight. So I should have solemn judgmented before I made the Dark Charmer, but whatever. Or, you know, Torrential Tributed. They actually can recycle a bunch of stuff, so I don't want to, you know, it's not good. We still have a Trap Trick, which can do another board wipe. We also take out their card that was going to return back their big monster. Like I don't want them to recycling resources. I don't want them bringing monsters back from the grave. I don't want to deal with that. This time they made a mistake. They popped the card that they popped my Eldlich card, which means I was able to recycle it. They're using that Pot of Duality, means they can't special summon anymore. So I would be more than happy to hit them with something that blows up their field if they tried to, you know, summon something. But that's fine, I'll just banish you. No graveyard effects, goodbye. The only trap they have, it does negate a spell or trap card, so that is rough for me. Actually, let's go read the wording of the counter trap that they just searched. Sonic. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a Dinomorphia monster, pay your half of your life points, negate the activation, destroy that card, then destroy a Dinomorphia monster you control. Okay, so they need to control a Dinomorphia monster, and it only negates a spell or trap card. And if you've been watching my videos, you know by now, transaction rollback is not a trap card, it's a trap effect. They only have 125 life points, which is why they don't negate my Foolish Burial Goods. They know I have an Elixir, so they have to wait to negate this, because otherwise they'll just summon Eldlich 2500 attack and he kills them. But knowing that they won't negate Foolish Burial Goods then, I'm able to activate it, send rollback. Rollback, copying the effect of a trap in the grave, isn't considered a trap card, it's considered a trap effect. So I threaten to banish their Dinomorphia monster, and remember the counter trap requires them to have a Dinomorphia monster in order to activate. So we're going to lose there. It says I won due to time limit. This person actually got super salty and they just sat there for like 3 minutes. Like, I don't know why. Like, it's not like I used any floodgates. Like, and honestly, a Dinomorphia player getting salty, like, bro, Rex Term is just a walking skill drain. Come on, man. Anyways, duel number 5 versus Naturia Runick. This was another good duel. Yeah, it's possible that I was in a bit of a hurry to try to get some Beetrooper replays. So the first couple replays I showed were a little bit brief, but uh, these two are pretty solid. Yeah, they skip their turn. However, we can't like one turn kill them, so they're okay. Non-targeting banish and a rollback. Okay, they're going to grab the field spell. We want to destroy the field spell or get it in the grave somehow, and then we want to banish it. Okay, so there I tried to kind of bait out their Ash Blossom. Okay, so we used the Eldlich to try to bait out an Ash Blossom or whatever, but also to see whether we can get our Waquero online or not. Now we know that they're still going to be able to recover the fountain with the dog or whatever. They use the trap card that, or the spell card that destroys one of our cards. They don't target the terrors that we just set, but they do target our rollback. So now we have a rollback and an elixir engrave, which is going to be fantastic for us. They're trying to use the fountain to recycle cards. Fountain is limited to 1, so we can just use Terrors of the Overroot to target a single card our opponent controls, send it to grave. We'll replace it with a face-down Ash Blossom, so they can't really do anything. Yeah, Terrors is a nice card. I think Dogmatic Punishment is better, but that's also a card that was banned in this format. This poor guy. Yeah, so we're going to try to summon the Mad Golden Lord, but, you know, we already banished their field spell, so there's not really anything they can do. Yeah, so as you can see from all these replays, Eldlich is just kicking an enormous amount of butt in this festival. If you want to use like a less optimized version, I wouldn't blame you at all. It's just, this is kind of a free-for-all type of event. Super Poly is limited to 1. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to run Super Poly at all, frankly. Just kind of as a silly card, I'm running Super Poly and then a couple of Fusion Duplications. I thought it would be interesting if, like, our opponent is running Super Poly and stuff, then we could, like, copy their Super Poly, or, like, maybe in the grave, we roll back onto Fusion Duplication to copy a Super Poly in grave. I don't know. Some of the Super Poly cards, we have Earth Golem, obviously, because there's a lot of Link decks in this festival, along with Cyber's decks. Starving Venom and Predaplant Trifaveritum. They fuse off a bunch of dark cards. Obviously, there's a lot of dark cards in this festival. Borreload, it's just a good generic, you know, maybe there's some dark dragon decks, I don't know. I, like, never used Super Poly, because obviously it's a 1 and whatever. I'm also running the 7 Cities of the Golden Land plus the Mad Golden Lord. It's pretty fun if you can kind of set it up. But I'm also running this mill deck, which makes it a little less likely to come up, I guess. Whatever, I like the mill deck. Lord of Heavenly Prison is back. When we don't have a bunch of other packages that have a lot of monsters, like the Horus package, I like Lord of Heavenly Prison. He can search out any spell or trap you need, protects your back row, blah, blah, blah. We can still run the Diabellstar package just as a good way of getting cards like Transaction Rollback that are in our hand into the graveyard. It also can help set up an Omni Negate. You already know this package. Other cards you might not know. Obviously, there's the Eldlich package, which is a couple of these, triple of these, couple of these. And we're also running Cursed Eldland as just a way to make it more consistent and search it out. Other consistency cards, Trap Tantalizing Tune, they banned the pot cards, so this is kind of the next best way to make our deck more consistent. I also like its graveyard recycle effect. We have Grass, we have Thrust, which we can use to search out grass. We have Foolish Burial Goods to send Transaction Rollback to grave immediately. Paleozoic Marilla to send Transaction to Rollback to grave immediately. Elemental Burst to blow up their entire board if you copy it with Transaction Rollback. Reasoning, because we only have a few monsters and we really want to get rollback plus our really powerful traps like Elemental Burst, Karma Cannon, Torrential Tribute in the grave. Trap Trick, another consistency card, gets your traps online, evenly matched. Great for going second, you can copy it in the grave. yeah, I think that's all the important cards in this deck. Here's our kind of link lineup. Predaplant Verde Anacondas to send Super Poly to grave. These to link off your Eldlands. We have the Water Charmer just because Paleozoic Marilla can summon itself from the grave really easily. We have the Selene Access Code package because we have a Diabell Star. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Probably a slightly more optimized version is this Floodgate variant that I was working with. In this one, we run triple Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. I just threw in Golden Land Forever just cuz. I also like Crackdown. It's fun to like steal your opponent's monsters, and then you can link it off into any of these fun, link monsters that we might have access to. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of dark monster decks in this format, so this is probably a pretty optimal way to do things. And then obviously Terrors of the Overroot. It's a replacement for Dogmatic Punishment, where it's like you just want to eliminate a single card that your opponent has, like a back row or whatever. It comes up, it's nice. All right, next, let's do the part 2, Beetroopers. So Beetroopers are probably one of those combo decks that can be kind of annoying to play against, but it's just goofy, I guess. I'll show you what I'm talking about. First up, we're going against Marincess. Going first, oh boy. Yeah, with a Beetrooper, I like to leave the the playmat as like the basic one because it's kind of the most forest oriented. Basically, what you want with Beetroopers is to get at least 2, ideally 3 insects on the field at once. And once you can do that, you can pop off. It's kind of the choke point if you need to play against Beetroopers. So the Battle Wasp was going to summon or search out a bee, search out an insect that we could special summon. That's fine. So now we've got 3 insects on the field, which is exactly what we want. We're going to link 2 of them off into Insector Picofelina. She's going to discard, search out Resonance Insect to equip, and we've got a Goki Pole, which is going to get another monster. We really want to have 3 monsters on the field most of the time. She can recycle to get a draw. Thank you very much. Probably shouldn't have recycled the Battle Wasp, but you'll see. Then we are going to link into the big Link 4 dude, who is kind of a boss monster, but also he's just an extender slash a searcher. We also grab the Crawler Soma. So this is a super important card. We searched it because Resonance Insect was sent to grave. He flips the monster face down to make it so you have 3 more monsters. So we're just like completely swarming the field at this point. The giant Beetrooper was able to get rid of the card that was flipped face down to get a search. The fusion searches out Saturnus, and Saturnus gets another search off. We had Belgrim in the grave already, so he can banish a couple of insect monsters to summon himself. The Cruel Saturnus gets to special summon a monster that was just banished. And then I'm going to link a bunch of cards off because all of those monsters lock us into only summoning insect monsters, and now we're going to try to start summoning monsters that aren't insects. At least I think that's the plan. Yeah, here I think I messed up the combo, but it is what it is. Yeah, so this is definitely like when I was still learning everything, my ideal was to set up Crusadia Avermax along with like a couple of insects that have interruptions, but instead we just have the Counter Trap, which is going to negate one of their monster effects like Solemn Strike, and we have the Scale Bomber, which we're able to revive from the grave using Papillion, which is kind of like a Ghost Ogre where it destroys a monster when it activates effects. The key choke point for Marincess is the Link 2 monster. So you'll see, even though I probably had a suboptimal whatever combo line, it's not going to matter because in this format, if you can reliably set up a couple of interruptions along with enough follow-up to one turn kill your opponent the following turn, you're going to be in a good spot. We already grabbed a grass using our triple tactics thrust earlier. All right, so we're going to negate or destroy this one. So here, ideally, we would like to use Beetrooper Scale Bomber because it has to link summon to a place it points to, which means if we destroy it, that's as good as negating it. Unfortunately, the counter trap requires us to have a Beetrooper on the field, so we have to use the counter trap first. The counter trap is really nice because it recycles from your grave on your turn, and then you use it on your opponent's turn, and then you recycle it on your turn. It just keeps coming back. It's fantastic. One negate. Now they're going to try to make the other link too, and even though its effect is going to go off because it doesn't require you to summon to a spot where it points to, we're still going to pop it and they won't have enough bodies to make any big Marincess monsters. Goodbye. Get poppin'. Called by the Grave is banned in this event also. Then we're going to activate Grass. Maybe they'll have an Ash Blossom. Yeah, they don't even wait for us to do that. Thank you very much. All right, let's go to duel number 2. All right, what were we dealing with? Another Marincess? Okay. Yeah, I feel like Marincess is a deck that comes a lot in these types of festivals. Like, I don't know, man. It's just one of those like lower ceiling decks that's really reliable. It has a lot of link monsters. Obviously, our extra deck has a lot of Beetrooper and insect-related link monsters, along with a couple of fun fusions. This time we're going second. Okay, so gonna be interesting. Oh yeah, so what's really nice is I forgot about that. Okay, so I don't know if you saw, we activated Retaliating Sea, which normally it's just a good, like, this one we're going up against a tier Chimaera deck, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so Retaliating Sea, it's a funny card. If you just normal summon it and then link it off to the grave, it has a really good search effect, sort of like you know, our other card. However, it also activates as like a pseudo dimension shifter. Sorry, I'm like mind farted there for a bit. Where like if your opponent activates a spell card that summons a monster, you can special it from hand, and then it like banishes all their cards that would normally go to the grave. So it's just like an in-archetype, really powerful hand trap that's good in this format because people are constantly using fusion spells. They negate our draw 1, which is probably the worst spot you could have negated, but whatever. All right, we're going to get a search off. Crawler, obviously. Crawler comes out. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Let's see if we don't mess up the combo this time. We also have a couple of pretty strong hand traps that we can sit on. So our goal is to get the counter trap and then just have one other interruption somewhere. We already have plenty of resources, so it's just kind of a matter of getting other stuff going. Okay. I think this time I kind of learned my lesson and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to sit on having a bunch of monsters. We have the counter trap. We have a couple of hand traps. Goodbye. And we can grab out the Battle Wasp, which is the monster we prefer to summon using Paraplelion. Okay. We negate that effect. That's a really good choke point for Chimaera. Yep, and they're gone. It's a good example to kind of show you just get a deck with a couple of interruptions, a lot of monsters on the field, and then the next turn you're just going to annihilate them. Okay. This one is 7 duels against another Chimaera deck. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, Chimaera is kind of an interesting fusion deck. once they, like a lot of these kind of rogue tier decks, usually they have some early choke point that like an Ash Blossom or an Imperm really hurts. But like once they get rolling, they can really pop off. Same with insects, obviously. We got two insects on the field, which is good. Retaliating Sea searches out the Resonance insect, which is they're super important. We grabbed out Crawler, and that sends Goki Pole. Goki Pole is able to grab a monster that we can special, which means now we can Soma, flip a bunch of cards face down. Yeah, you see, this time I wasn't able to use the Pico Falena's effect in order to activate before, because I only had the one monster, but I just summon a second one, recycle the other one that's in the grave now. The ultimate great insect is really fun. If you ever have a monster equipped with like a monster, then you're able to summon them out super easily. Baphomet obviously gets a banish. Residence insect sets our Battle Wasp to grave. So this is kind of the combo that I was trying to go for the first time, where we have the Mech Knight, we have a counter trap, and Papillon is going to be able to grab out the Battle Wasp, which is both follow up plus like an Imperm. All right. They link summon again. I think we're just going to try to Imperm this guy. So they negate our effect to search follow up, but they don't, and now they also negate our effect to negate them. So we're in a little bit of trouble here. Crusadia can't be targeted. However, Guardian Chimaera doesn't target, so he's about to get destroyed. That's unfortunate. But he also has an effect where once he's destroyed, we can shuffle a card from their field into the grave, non-targeting, which is great because Chimaera can't be targeted when they have Poly in the grave. So they get a Quiritis out, but we're in defense mode, so we don't care. Uh-oh. So we wanted to draw literally any insect monster so that we could actually use our Beetrooper fusion, but unfortunately we're in a bad spot now. They did activate a monster effect, however, which was a huge mistake for them. First, we get a draw one off of the Cocoon. Then we can special a token by banishing our Praying Mantis. Baphomet is going to send Resonance Insect. We activate Belgrum in order to force out their effect. Oh, that's funny. So Belgrum has an effect where he activates this effect and he can destroy all monsters on the field except insects or plants. So they actually fusion into a plant monster so it doesn't get destroyed. They also made all of our monsters attack equal to 0. But we had 4 insects, so we don't care. We're going to summon out the ultimate Beetrooper Atlas, who is unaffected by other cards' effects until the end of our next turn, which is fantastic. So basically, for the next couple of turns, they can keep trying to negate him, but it doesn't matter. He's just immune to everything except getting hit over the head. We're going to equip it with an equip spell, just in case. Well, we tried to, but he's unaffected by our own effects as well, so that's unfortunate. And we search out the metamorphized Insect Queen. All right, another Guardian Chimaera. Again, you gotta read, buddy. The Beetrooper can't be destroyed. So here I don't activate the Counter Trap's effect, because I'm hoping they destroy both our monsters instead, and the effect of the monster didn't really care, but whatever, it is what it is. So Starving Venom can actually hit over our Beetrooper, unfortunately. However, for some reason he chooses not to hit over the Beetrooper, and we just special summon out the Insector again. The reason I do that is we have a lot of insects in grave I want to start recycling. Okay. Banish again. Send a Goki Pole, add a monster to our hand. Resonance Insect, I like that. Okay, another Insector, so we can discard a card, equip a card. We also grab out the Parasite Paranoid just cuz. Link everything off. Access code. Access code is going to be able to destroy their monster, but Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is going to destroy all of our cards once it's destroyed. Lucky for us, our metamorphized Insect Queen makes it so all of our insects are immune to being destroyed. Pop. Pop. End of battle phase. Special summon Beetrooper Atlas. And then the Beetrooper Atlas is going to make her attack a lot higher. The counter trap recycles. So now they're in a lot of trouble. I think I only had like 10 seconds left, which is why I don't activate her other effect to summon an insect last turn, but whatever. Insect Queen. Kill him. Get him. Good stuff. All right, one last duel to show off the Beetroopers versus a Sprite Runick deck. Okay, so maybe this is the duel I was thinking of when I thought we were doing the other deck before, but whatever, we'll see how it goes. Going first, always fun. Grass, you'll love to see it, although they probably have an Ash Blossom. They did have an Ash Blossom, but we baited it out. Yeah, so I was very happy that they didn't just instantly scoop here. We're able to grab out a card that can banish and summon itself. That gets a Bear Groom. Now we have 3 insects, which is huge. This is how we get our combos going. The Cocoon of Ultimate Evolution is great because it just gets us a draw 1, recycles a card, and then obviously can summon out the Insect Queen directly from the deck, which is a lot of fun. We get another draw, Beetrooper. Here we go. Now we're popping off. Beetrooper, Beetrooper, Beetrooper. Swarm the field, my insects. Okay. Another fusion summon, Cruel Saturnus. Hopefully we have a way to banish some cards. Probably with the Link monster. Now she can special summon out an interruption using the level 3. The field spell is great because we can special out really easily. Set an imperm going second, which is nice. Okay, so now we've got a couple of interruptions. We can summon out Retaliating Sea. Ooh, that's annoying. Not anymore, I guess, now that our monster zone is completely full. That's kind of too bad. But we do get a monster negate, and after that we can Retaliating Sea. They choose to negate our card that negates monster effects, which is an interesting choice. I mean, they've gotten all of our interruptions out of the way, at least. Sprite starter. So they can't go to the battle phase, so I'm not worried about them having the spell that makes their attack super high. They choose to destroy my Beetrooper Armor Horn there. Not sure if that was the right choice, but whatever. They're just clicking buttons at this point. I mean, yeah, there's nothing you can do here. We summon out the Antlion, which is great because it's super easy to summon out the Ultimate Great Insect. It requires you to tribute a monster who has 2,000 or more defense and is equipped with an equip card, and the Antlion is great. It grabs out a monster from your grave. In this case, we grabbed a Goki Pole, but we also could have grabbed like a Resonance Insect or a Retaliating Sea, so that when it gets sent to grave again, then it also gets a search in addition to summoning out the Ultimate Great Insect, which is great because during the battle phase, if they have a field spell, we can blow up all their monsters. More Link summoning. More. Recycle our resources, get a draw 1. Special out. Probably going to grab the... We'll see what we grab. We blow up the field spell, which on the one hand means we can't use Ultimate Great Insect's battle phase effect anymore, but on the other hand, we don't really care. We got Parasite Paranoid equipped to a monster and sent it to the grave, which means we can summon out the Insect Queen from our hand. Die, die, die. Goodbye. See, yeah, that's the sort of combo deck where it's like you click a lot of buttons. It doesn't end up doing as much as maybe other combo decks do, but you know, it's just ridiculous and goofy. All right, let's go over the Beetrooper deck now. Let's see, which one is it? Well, first it's this one. Okay, so we have this package is probably not optimal. It's sort of the Insect Queen package. We have triple Parasite Paranoid. You equip it to one of their monsters, which turns it into an insect, or you can equip it to your own monster, whatever, which allows you either A, to summon out the ultimate great insect basically for free. Like, I think it's kind of their upgraded version of Weevil's perfectly ultimate great moth, or you can use Cocoon of Ultimate Evolution, tribute an insect that has an equipped spell, and it can be from either field. So this is actually an interruption if you use it on your opponent, to summon out an insect directly from your deck. So this one summons a big insect from your hand. This one summons a big insect from your deck. You have to use one of those to summon out the metamorphized Insect Queen, who makes it so all of your insects can't be targeted or destroyed, which in this format is absolutely amazing. Like, if you get her out and you're protecting her either by having your heavy Beetrooper increase her attack by 1,000 every end phase, or by having your Crusadia Mech Knight protect her from battle for like a turn or two, then you're just going to be like indestructible tower. It's a lot of fun. Unless, of course, they have Dark Ruler no more or Droplet, then it does nothing. Let's talk about the other combos. So kind of our standard normal summons, you want to have a lot of cards that you normal summon to get a second or third insect. So Battle Wasp Sting the Poison, or search out your Pin the Bullseye so that you can get your 2 insects on the field. Your Scout Buggy will special another Scout Buggy. And then we also have a bunch of extender cards, like your Scale Bomber can special itself super easily, and your Assault Roller can special itself super easily. Even your Crawler Soma, when it's in your hand, you can flip one of your insects face down and special summon 3 more, which is exactly what you need. Your Belgrum can special from hand or grave super easily. Beetrooper Mighty Neptune can special summon from hand really easily. Also, if you only have one insect that you can summon, like a Resonance Insect or a Retaliating Sea or a Goki Pole, you can just link it off using Almirage to send it to grave, activate its effect, and then once you have an insect in grave, you can start doing other combos, start really popping off. Goki Pole is nice to be able to send to your graveyard, either as discard fodder from insect paraphernalia or from the deck using like a Foolish Burial. Resonance Insect, if you banish it, you can send an insect to grave. Usually you're sending either a Goki Pole, which is going to search out a monster, like another Resonance Insect, or maybe, where is it? The Beetrooper Assault Roller, which can special itself really easily. It can also get this single normal insect, which if you add it to your hand and special summon it, you can blow up a monster on the field that has more attack than it, so it's kind of an interruption. But you can also use it as just a way to get another insect on the field. Let's see. Crawler. Praying Mantis is nice if you're doing the grass variant, because you can banish it from your grave to summon out a token. The Battle Wasp is something you'll usually search. So you'll have Battle Wasp Sting the Poison in your grave. You summon it out. Battle Wasp Sting the Poison searches the Arbalist. So on your following turn, you can normal summon it and special summon like another Sting the Poison or a Goki Pole or something, or maybe even a Scout Buggy from your grave to get a whole bunch of follow-up. And then Sting the Poison also contribute a monster to negate its effects, like a Imperm, for example. Infinite Antlion is a fun card to normal summon on like a subsequent turn. If you have Resonance Insect or Retaliating Sea in the grave, it searches it out, it makes its defense 2,000 so that you can summon out the ultimate great insect really easily. It recycles this search effect that you had. It also has an effect where you can like summon it from your hand super easily during like the battle step, and it can destroy cards that your opponent controls. So it's kind of like an in-archetype hand trap, which you really love. Same with Retaliating Sea, it's kind of like a dimension shifter as a hand trap. Let's see. We talked about the big monsters. Obviously, there's the crawlers. There's the metamorphized insect queen, which I think is a lot of fun. Belgrum comes out super easily, comes out every turn, destroys a bunch of cards. Nibiru is just a solid hand trap. Ash Blossom, solid hand trap. Foolish Burial, you usually send Goki Pole. Gold Sark, you'll usually banish a Resonance Insect to send a Goki Pole. Grass, you already know what it is. Beetrooper Descent, this is kind of our only way to deal with back row, which on the one hand is too bad, but on the other hand, like, we just kind of have to hope we have enough gas to push through whatever back row they have. Beetrooper Landing, it's the fusion effect is not once per turn, it's only the recycling effect that's once per turn. So usually you'll summon out a Cruel Saturnus as basically like an extender. Like the Cruel Saturnus is going to special summon an insect back and get you a search, so you're not really wasting any resources by going into it. It's just kind of gives you like additional monsters on top of what you already had, especially if you have a bunch of insects in your hand that you can't search out. You can also fusion summon the ultimate Beetrooper Absolute Hercules. It's unaffected by your opponent's effects for like a couple of turns, and we can special summon a couple of insect monsters during the battle phase. So it's a good like closer or like way to keep you going for a couple turns. Thrust is a way to search out grass or other spells you might need. The field spell is another extender. You can search it out and then use it as a like a monster reborn to summon out a Beetrooper, Scout Bubby, or Scale Bomber, or even Sting Lancer. Sting Lancer is also an in-archetype hand trap, which is really nice. It's basically like a bestial. You can target monsters in the grave to shuffle them back. We have our Imperms, obviously, as just additional hand traps. And then the counter trap is great as a way to constantly recur a pretty powerful negation. We already talked about Almirage. Insector Picofalena is great once you have 3 insect monsters, because you need 2 to link into Picofalena. She discards a card, targets the 3rd card to add an monster to equip to it, which is usually a resonance insect, but sometimes you might equip a Parasite Paranoid if you have an important insect monster in your hand. Shinobi Insect is just a way to link off some of your insects that like lock you out of summoning. So Beetrooper Cruel Saturnus locks you, Beetrooper Invincible Atlas locks you, and Beetrooper Armorhorn locks you. So if you have those 3 monsters, you might link them off into something like Seraphim to make it so you don't have to deal with being locked into particular link monsters, and then you can link off into Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax or Access Code. The Beetrooper Armorhorn is great. You have just 2 insects. It allows you to normal summon another one, which ideally is going to be another extender like a Battle Wasp or a Scout Buggy to get you up to having 3 monsters on the field. Even if you're just normal summoning a Resonance Insect, it has a really powerful search effect. So it's just an important piece of the extension puzzle. Like you have these 2 that you link up to, and then you link into Giant Beetrooper Invincible Atlas, who gets you a search, usually your Sting Lance, for example. Other link monsters, we have Unicorn is just another link 3 that we can go into to get an interruption and make it easier for us to get to access code. And we have Traptrix Oedipus, which is actually fantastic in this deck. If your opponent has a bunch of like back row that you care about, you link into this, and then you can negate like 4 or 5 cards on your opponent's side of the field. And it's not just monsters, it's face-up cards total. So you do this, you can negate a bunch of like, whatever, maybe floodgates or something that are preventing you from attacking, and then you just go to town and just destroy everything. Yeah, this is kind of the Beetrooper deck. I think I have a 40 card version that'll just go over quickly. In this version, we have a couple more of the Pin the Bullseyes. We're also running Doom Dozer in the 40 version. Maybe I should be running in the 60 version, but whatever. This one kind of is an easy extender to summon out if you search it with Resonance Insect, for example. In this one, we're not running the Insect Queen version, and I just really think the Insect Queen version is funny, but you know, you can do what you want. Overall, I thought this festival was a lot of fun. I hope that you've enjoyed this double feature, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.